Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of The County Seat. I'm your host, Chad Booth. As you are probably aware from the media, this is the 10th anniversary of the attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, or known as 9/11. In response to that over the years, we've actually dedicated September as Emergency Preparedness Month. And of course, 5 years ago, we learned a lot about emergency preparedness from Hurricane Katrina. So later on in the show, we are going to discuss emergency preparedness and who at the local level is prepared to respond here at home. But as always the case, when a disaster strikes, the people at home need help. And Utah's no less prepared to come to the aid of other states than anyone else. Here with the story on those people is Terry Wood.
Smoke billows and buildings lie in rubble. People cry out from inside. At times like this, it really doesn't matter to those who are trapped how it happened, whether an earthquake, flood, or terrorist attack. The only thing that matters to those who need help is when that help will arrive to dig them out. Such was the case in New York on September 11th, 2001, New Orleans after Katrina, or any other disaster, whether natural or man-made. Utah is not immune to disasters, and when they do occur, we all hope that someone will come to the rescue.
Task Force 1 is one of 28 FEMA National Urban Search and Rescue Teams, and our primary mission is to locate live victims in collapsed structures. If there was a natural disaster, hurricane, flooding, earthquake, or even a man-made disaster, such as a terrorist event that is going to create collapsed structures, and there are victims, live victims trapped there, then they would activate our task force if it got to a point where it had overwhelmed the local and state resources.
Urban Search and Rescue was organized in 1990 by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, as a multi-hazard discipline made up of highly trained professionals, firefighters, emergency room doctors, structural engineers, and canine handlers. All volunteer their time as members of Utah Task Force 1. They provide their expertise for the benefit of the community.
After the 9/11 disaster, FEMA recognized the need to fund the teams and try and get them all outfitted similarly because some teams had more equipment than others. And from that point on, we've all received annual funding from the federal government.
Utah Task Force 1 is based in Salt Lake, preparing to be called on for emergencies in other states. In the case of 9/11, the Utah team was on a plane to ground zero within a few hours.
If we get a mission, we are to be able to load our cache of equipment and be out the door within 4 to 6 hours. And we have load plans in our computer. The members will assemble here. They'll pick up their gear bags behind us.
Once on the ground, the team of 70 is capable of 24-hour operations for up to 10 days, picking individuals from rubble and saving lives wherever possible.
These are dedicated individuals that put in a lot of time for no pay. And in the event there's a disaster locally, within the state, or a national disaster that we respond to, they're ready to go at a moment's notice. And you know, the pay's not an issue for them. It's more going out and doing the rescue and saving their fellow human beings. And I just worry that Congress will see this as a program that maybe isn't worthwhile, and that would be a terrible loss for the country.
The shadow of disaster always looms, whether we like it or not. It could be an unexpected earthquake here along the Wasatch Front, a destructive hurricane on the East Coast. No matter what the calling, help will arrive in the form of Utah Task Force 1.
I know when we go out the door that we do good work, and the people that we've helped are so appreciative of the work that we've done.
For the county seat, I'm Terry Wood.
Well, Terry tells me that Utah's Task Force 1 was most recently engaged to help with the victims of Hurricane Irene. And when we come back, we'll be talking to people from both the county and the state level on our panel discussion, and we will be discussing emergency preparedness in Utah, what they're going to be able to do and what you should be able to do. We'll be right back.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
How would you spend an extra day in Utah Valley? Stay one more day. Visit utahvalley.com to make reservations. Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.
Fall in love with fall. Logan, Utah.
The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration. SITLA manages 3.5 million acres of Utah lands with the express purpose of furthering the education of Utah students while promoting local industry, oil and gas, even residential development, all at the same time. Through the careful use of trust lands, we distributed more than $22 million to Utah schools last year. The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration, building the state's permanent school fund.